What's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming in. We have a few more people coming in. Wish blessings and health to everybody. Financial wisdom as well. Let's see. We got Q&A today, and I got some information to share with you all before we get started. So bear with me. I got it listed for 1 to 2:30 today, but we may go a little bit over, depending on how fast I can get through this little bit of information for you. So with that being said, let me start sharing my screen, go over this information, and then you guys can raise your hands and we'll get started. So I wanted to talk about tax injunctions. You guys can all see that. I'd like to open it up and show you the amounts and all of that stuff, but no, treasury checks, they're coming in. So if you haven't put your tax injunctions with the proper authorities, I recommend going to watch that information on the site, and you need to do so. Monies are being paid out, others and myself, for frivolous taxes paid in the years prior. So, or we could do it for you. I mean, you guys have all seen the member order sheets on the website if you want to put an order in for us to do it. Or just contact our executive assistant, Nancy. She'll get that started for you. But it's simple. We submit a public notice in the paper of the fraud that was taking place. Then we serve all the parties via registered mail. So there's no communication from the IRS for good reason, but out of nowhere, checks will come in. Don't know when, it just does. You don't know the amount. We don't even know what tax year it's coming from. So for mine, I knew that I went into the workforce with my social security number as soon as I graduated high school. So I went all the way back to those years up until today, or up until the last point of filing taxes and paying with my employer when I used to work. So that's how I can gauge when it came in, where it came from. Okay, so that coupled with tax form 843, I'll show you that. This is the claim for refund. This is the form that we used, we submitted it. Now, although, you know how W-8BEN and W-8BEN-E and all of those W-8 forms, they tell you send that to the withholding agent, such as an employer or bank, whoever is the agent issuing you digital assets. Well, this is the only one that you must submit to the actual IRS. Payments that should have not been collected, or could have been, Medicare, Social Security, and all those taxes. Will you yourself send this form out and say, send it back to me, send it to the beneficial owner? So that's your trust. Let me go ahead and turn this music down. For some reason it's loud on my end. Let's see, we're gonna let some other people in. All right. So section A of this 843 form, it says a refund of one of the taxes other than income taxes or employer's claim for FICA tax or fee shown on line 3. So this is what applies to us. Okay, line 3, you have a couple of options: employment, estate, gift, excise, income, and fee. So for my tax injunction, I was mainly focused on the income, federal income taxes that I've paid in the past. I selected that box. The amount, I have no idea. I could have gathered my tax transcripts, of course, and got precise, but I went ahead and just went above and beyond. So whatever comes back, comes back. And that's it. You just have to wait. Now, if you're a business, same thing. If you pay taxes off of your LLC in the past, you've obviously filed Form 1120. As an employee, you filed a 1040. Okay. If you want to say you are coming from a trust or a charity, and that would be hit next, or sorry, hit other and type in Form 990, 990T. And of course, an explanation as to why you believe you should receive a refund. And that's going to be coming from the tax treaty laws. So let's get into that. All right. So as you see, look, it came in the title nobility name. And now you see how this all comes together. This is why you're going to have the proper IDs, either a passport in this name or a private DMV with no social security number given in that application. You need state ID or a driver's license in the title nobility name. Okay. Or your court order showing the former name to the title nobility name. If you have those, then the banks will allow you to cash it. If you want to deposit it into a special account, I'll show you how to do that much later, and that's going to involve having a private LLC. This is bringing in your foreign trustee to be a part of that LLC. We connect that to a trust enterprise, and then your title of nobility is simply just personal representative and authorized rep that works on behalf of that LLC connected to the trust enterprise. So all those things I will be showing additional webinars on how to structure that. This is considered private banking. So from here on out, what we need to talk about is this W-8BEN form. Some of you have been able to use it with your employers. Congratulations. And others have been receiving pushback. That's okay. You probably have just discovered that the employer that you have is not qualified to work with foreign entities. Did you know that? Some of them are only qualified to participate under ECI, Effective Connected Income, with a trade or a business in the United States, and nothing more. So you have options. Just let them take out the tax, and then you do this 843 at the end of the year when you file your taxes, or find another employer that's a little bit more lenient. That's up to you to decide. So the W-8BEN is for individuals. That's an individual filing for the W-8BEN, and that's supposed to be signed by your foreign trustee. If you are not going to do that, then the other option is a W-8BEN-E. And I want to talk about that because you can use this form, the W-8BEN-E, for many different things, such as real estate. What if you were to sell your property and you're worried about the capital gains? Most attorneys would tell you to do a 1031 exchange, taking 100% of the profits and giving that over to a fiduciary who will then use that money to purchase additional property. And you can do that so on and so on and so on to avoid taxation. What if you don't want to do that? What if you need the money right now, which is the reason why you sold? So this form here is what will allow you to utilize all that money from the sale without being taxed. You just have to tie it with a treaty. So box one. Okay. We have a lot of people coming in today. Men. Nobody is working on Saturday. That's good. So box one, the identification of beneficial owner. That's going to be, let's say you have property that's recorded in a revocable land trust with your enterprise as the trustee, or a nonprofit corporation, which is 501c3. I've instructed some of you guys to do that. If you want to take advantage of the property tax exemption, that's an easy method to go about. Or let's say you have an LLC as the trustee, unincorporated association, whatever, and you sell the property. Like I said, tax attorneys will tell you to go to 1031 exchange. But did you know if you set up your property as a short-term rental, which means like hospitality, Airbnb, they cannot charge you tax on that because that's not considered rent. Rent is considered long-term investment. So this W-8BEN form, it must be given to the closing agent when you close everything. Now, they're not going to accept it unless who is on title. The actual trust that we're talking about has to be on title to have the right to submit this. If this property is located, is currently titled in your name, then it's not going to work. So you need to do the quick claim or transfer it over to a land trust down at the county. All right, everybody, if you are sharing your video, let's not distract. If you can stop the video on your feed and just leave your logo and your name on there, that'd be cool. Do that. All right. So box one, I have, for example, here, let's say I called it the Riverside County Stoughton Court Land Trust. The property I know is on Stoughton Court. That's the street. It's in Riverside County. Now I know which property I'm talking about. And I do that because you want to have one land trust for each property. One land trust for each property. Why? Because there is no EIN for a land trust, not one. All right. The country that is going to incorporate or organize this trust is the country of Oman. That is the Sultanate of Oman. Remember, I talked to you guys about Morocco, how all of North America, Central, South, and other countries around the world are under the empire of Morocco. Number three, name of the disregarded entity. So you have an 8832 approved entity that's already been classified under the trust, a 9A trust, right? So let's say I'm using my trust enterprise as the trustee to this land trust, or I have an 8832 approved LLC to the land trust. Put that in box number 3. Now I'm talking about the Sultanate of Oman. Do you guys know about the treaty that I'm referring to connect our trust to that treaty? That would be the Muscat Treaty, dealing with the United States, the territory of the United States. You can go and pull this up, but you're going to want to get a certified copy, and all certified copies of treaties like this you can find with the Department of State, the Library of Congress. We used to have a contact there, but she retired, so I'm working on getting another contact up there. But of course, the Library of Congress will give you a certified copy, and it will be in contract format 8x14. This is the treaty that we are going to refer to. All right. Box 4, what is the Chapter 3 status of this beneficial owner, or the one that's going to be receiving a payment, right? That would be the disregarded entity. Approved 8832 form. Okay, so it says if you entered a disregarded entity, partnership, simple trust, or grantor trust above, is the entity a hybrid making a treaty claim? Answer is yes. So they're telling us to go down to part 3. So we go all the way down to part 3. Of course, enter your information. So number 6 is the permanent residence. This is an address within Muscat, Oman. You do this the very same way I explained in your SS4. How did you select an address for your foreign country? You do the very same thing here. Number 7 is the mailing address. Any correspondences will go here. Most likely, this is your iPostal address. Part 1 What is the U.S. payer identification number? So when you close escrow for selling the property, who are they going to report that capital gains to? And that would be your enterprise, your trust enterprise EIN, your LLC's EIN, whoever is the trustee of that land trust, whoever that person is, that's the one who's going to receive the money. What is the foreign tax ID number? This is the 98, the beneficial owner. What is the reference? List your parcel number. Parcel number is the best thing to list here. You don't want to put the situs address. You do not want to put a legal description. It's not what it's asking for. Do the parcel number. All right. Skip down. It told us to go down to part 3. Here we are. What is the claim of tax treaty benefits? Number 1, we certify that the beneficial owner, the trust, is a resident of Muscat, Sultanate of Oman. We're talking about the Treaty of Muscat, 1833. Within the meaning of the income tax treaty between the United States and that country. Now, number 15, the beneficial owner is claiming the provisions of article and paragraph. So which article and which paragraph of that treaty are we talking about? I am talking about Article 6. Let me start off with Article 1. It says, it is proper that perfect concord be established between His Highness, the elevated in dignity, the Said, son of the Said Sultan, and all the territory of America. Let's go down to Article 6. Now, this treaty here can be applied to many different things: real estate, property taxes, Bitcoin, passport applications, DMV fees, federal income tax, child support, all of that, all of your answers is in this treaty, if you know how to read it, and you apply it with this W-8BEN. Article 6 says, the people of the United States, citizens of America, whenever they wish to resort to any of the provisions of the Sultan, for the purpose of selling and buying, have permission so to do. Remember, the Sultan has jurisdiction over Muscat, and he has jurisdiction over the territories of America. And his territories over America are considered ports. This is how they connect you as a vessel of the United States to those ports. For example, those that are born in other countries and they become naturalized here in the United States, they get a certificate of naturalization, that is a certificate of manifest. And it comes from a specific USCIS address or a location, AKA a port. That port is exactly what ties into this document here for one of the territories. And that jurisdiction for that port goes out for miles until it gets to the next port. I'll show you. Location of a port. Let's see. This is from the Department of Homeland Security. That's not pulling up right now. I'll come back to that. And in landing their property, they shall not be opposed, and whenever they wish to reside therein, they shall not be charged upon them for residence, nor any impost, but they shall be on the footing of the nation nearest in friendship. That's no capital gains tax, and that is no property tax. Okay, so going back to the form, we would put Article 6 in paragraph 1 of the treaty identified on line 14A above to claim a 0% rate of withholding on, now we have to specify the type of income. This will be capital gains if we're in closing. And then we have to give an explanation of the conditions in that article. So that's where we would type out or handwrite what Article 6 says and try to make it fit. Scroll down. I forgot to mention something at the top here. In box number 5, we need to select the status of our entity under the FATCA, FATCA status. And it's going to be international organization. So that means we have to go down to part XIV. So after we finish part 3, we go to part XIV and making sure that that applies to us, international organization. I certify that the entity identified in part 1 is an international organization described in section 7701, A18. What is that? 18. International organization means a public international organization entitled to enjoy privileges, exemptions, and immunities as an international organization under the International Organizations Immunities Act. So you would need to do further research for yourself to understand this. Click on this or go get a PDF copy of the public law and read what is this and how it pertains to you. Okay. I want to ask you guys this question. How is your trust connected to or identified as an international organization? Well, I gave you a little hint earlier today, or I think it was yesterday. I posted within the chat or within the announcements. I can't remember, but I gave you an update to the last paragraph of your Declaration of Trust, Memorandum of Trust. The last paragraph should state this right here. If you have in your last paragraph where it talks about the treaties, then you're covered. But I'd like to make it a little more easier to understand if it reads this way. Whereas the trust shall be governed by its country's applicable laws known as Muscat, Sultanate of Oman, with formation documents governed and regulated in all respects applicable to common law jurisdiction of, and you put your state, to govern the interpretation of the trust. So it's set up in a foreign country. We state specifically which country that is. Our state within the states interprets what that law is by using its laws, common law, right? And then we also have a foreign trustee to further exempt us. So we covered both tests, basically. We covered the court test and we covered the control test. It says, under the law of the Sultanate of Oman, a court within Oman is able to exercise primary supervision over the administration of the trust. The Treaty of Marrakesh, the Treaty of Muscat, 1833, the Articles of Association, the Articles of Confederation, and the Uniform Commercial Code. The domicile of the trust is within the court of law or equity, depending on where your state is. In Florida, in the Republic of the United States of America, but shall have full faith and credit in any state as a last resort when everything else fails. Okay? So that's how you're going to make sure that that's connected. But don't take my word for it. You know, I've always taken you into the CFR for trust dealing with domestic and foreign. They have an example of that very same clause right here. It says, a United States citizen creates a trust for equal benefit of A's two children, all right, who are also U.S. citizens. So the grantor is a U.S. citizen who created the trust, and its beneficiaries are two children, and they're U.S. citizens as well. The trust instrument provides that a domestic corporation is to act as trustee for the trust, and that the trust is to be administered in country Muscat, a foreign country. DC maintains a branch office in Muscat with personnel authorized to act as trustees in the country of Muscat. The trust instrument provides that the law of Florida, Ohio, New Mexico, a state within the United States, is to govern the interpretation of the trust. Under the law of the country of Muscat, a court within the country of Muscat is able to exercise primary supervision over the administration of the trust. Pursuant to the trust instrument, the country of Muscat court applies the law of the state Florida, to the trust. Under the terms of the trust instrument, the trust is administered in the country of Muscat. No court within the United States is able to exercise primary supervision over the administration of the trust. The trust fails to satisfy the court test and therefore is a foreign trust. Now, we've just satisfied the court test. How do we satisfy the control test? Simple. Our foreign trustee who exercises the ability to make substantial decisions in the trust. So we've covered both avenues there, okay? That gives you the right to check off this section as an international organization. So we go down to the bottom. There's nothing more to fill out except for to sign. We are signing whoever is the enterprise receiving the check. And we've made ourselves to be a passive trustee of the enterprise. So we sign, we're there at the closing table, and we give them this and they process it. The check will be issued out to either the trustee's name, which is the disregarded entity, or the trust. Doesn't matter. You should have a bank account open to make that deposit. Okay. Let's say you're doing this for property taxes. Same thing. You're selecting Article 6. Okay. And you're giving this to, well, your county has a petition to take you off the tax roll. There's a form for that. And you're either going to use it as a 501c3 showing tax exemption, or you're going to use it this way with the W-8BEN-E. Make sure that the property is properly recorded down at the county in the trust. Okay, and you're going to select right here for your reason for the exemption. It changes from capital gains tax to value assessment tax. Okay, if you are doing Bitcoin, now you're going to use Article 2 of the treaty. Article 2. It's a lot. The citizens of America have liberty to enter into any port of the ports of His Highness. The elevated in dignity, the Said, son of the Said Sultan, defender of Muscat, with any merchandise they may have with them. And they have liberty to sell the said merchandise to any one whomsoever among the subjects of His Highness, the Said, or to others who may have a desire to buy such merchandise. Also, at their option to barter or make exchange for anything that they can get of the goods of those provinces and goods which they meet with there. They themselves determining the value and price of the said merchandise. Isn't that how Bitcoin works? Coinbase operators, how is the price determined? About how many of those items are out there in circulation? That's been determined by you, not the banks, not the federal government. And there shall be no limitation on the part of the Sultan or of his officers to the value and price of the effects of the merchants, citizens of the territory of the United States of America. All right, you guys get the picture. How about passport applications? Are you exempt from passport applications? I would refer Article 3 for that, but also I would also include the Treaty of Tripoli. The Treaty of Tripoli really does go heavy into passports. What's Article 3? Vessels of the United States of America. So we need to stop here and define what a vessel is. You can look up vessels in Title 18 for the Criminal Code. You can also look it up in Title 46 of the shipping, dealing with shipping of maritime. Okay. So in this Treaty of Muscat, we're talking about citizens, and we're also talking about actual boats, ships on the navigable seas. And we're talking the Holy See, SEE. It says the term vessel of the United States. Now, when you read this, it's almost like reading the 14th Amendment. You really have to break it down. All these commas, you need to start over and read it from the beginning. That's how I get understanding of these things. It says the term vessel of the United States, as used in this title, means a vessel belonging in whole or in part to the United States, comma. Okay, start from the beginning. The term vessel of the United States means any citizen thereof. Okay, what is thereof? United States. So that means a U.S. national, a U.S. citizen, a legal resident, green card holder. They're also considered vessels of the United States under Title 18, the Criminal Code. The Criminal Code is how they connect you to any traffic violation or anything that they're coming against you with for a code or violation. So obviously, you need to state you're not a vessel of the United States and give them the proof of that, which is your declaration from Public Law 94-241. A vessel of the United States is also any artificial corporation created by the laws of the United States, unless you've done the 8832 process. Your corporations and your LLCs, your partnerships are all considered foreign. Okay. So that is what they're talking about when they say vessel of the United States. So they're saying citizens of the United States of America, when they arrive at and enter the country which is under the rule of the Sultan, or any country, whatever under his rule, shall not be subject to any charge except the import duty of 5%. We've already paid that with the birth certificate deposit. It's done. Nothing more after that. Upon the property, merchandise, and lading, bills of lading, landed, and there shall not be any charge upon them other than what we have mentioned, ever. And upon the things received in exchange, nothing at all shall be charged. But if there remains any property unsold, so if you pass away, and this is talking about your estate, and they, the Americans, wish to return it on board, it shall be charged with 5%. And what transits? This is why your executor can't do bankruptcy for your debts if you pass away. You have to handle everything and make sure you have trust set up to take care of your estate if we pass. All right. So you get the picture with Article 3 and what that's saying. Number 4, American merchants, residents of the United States, shall not be subject to any charge or extra charge in the way of custom house duties. Custom house duties for ships and boats, we have those at the ports where they are entered into this National Coast Guard registry system. But there's also a custom house duties for the citizens under vessels of the United States, and that is any federal agency under the Knights of Malta, which are all the hospitals, federal hospitals, and also the Depository Trust Corporation. Have you guys found out that the GMEI utility is gone? They don't want you using it to figure out who is utilizing your subcorporation as liability for their expenses. It's gone. Can't use it. So I think we had something to do with that, but oh well, we don't need it. Child support. What if you're doing child support? That would be Article 3. Okay, Article 3. So you need to file this W-8BEN and place it inside your child support case to shut it down. Is that the only thing needed? No, but it goes with. Okay. All right. So that's my little rant for right now. I wanted to share that information with you all. Hope it was beneficial and you have an understanding of what to do with it, how to use it. So please get your tax injunctions done and utilize the W-8BEN for all of those entities. So let's go to questions. Questions about what we just talked about or questions pertaining to the course. Okay. If you have questions pertaining to the course, what we just talked about, that would be ideal. We're going to Mo Ghazi. Just unmute your mic. How you doing?
Doing good, Avery. How are you?
Excellent. Glad to talk.
For that information. I'm very glad to talk. I wrote down a few questions, but so
Well, we're gonna have to just go with one per person. I'm gonna try to get these hands.
I'm trying to pick the most pertinent ones. So I'm gonna go to the form 843 that you had mentioned. Um, can you just elaborate a little more on the title of nobility? Like, what if you don't have that? How do you sign and fill out the form? Can you do it as like using your FET? Can you just put it in your ens legis name or and get them refund back that way? Or like what's the proper way to fill that out?
Good question. If you don't have the title nobility set up, you don't have the IDs to go with it, then just use the standard name that you have right now. But
Okay.
a portion in your injunction, you want to put how you want them to make checks paid out to. So because you're talking about probably your ens legis name, just leave it that way and put that name as the trustee, but above it, you put the trust enterprise. You should have your enterprise open because that's where you put the money anyway.
Okay. Trust enterprise must be open.
Mhm.
I did the injunction, the tax injunction with you guys, but there's not really anywhere where it mentions checks or sending checks to. I don't send. I didn't do a federal one. I did the ones that you sent to the state, the secretary general, things like that. Is that different?
Yeah, that's different. That's the travel injunction.
Yes.
So the trust, the tax injunction is a little bit different where we're sending to the US tax court, the IRS commissioner,
Got
a
it.
few others.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Go to AJ, just unmute your mic. How's it going, sir?
Good day to you. Thank you so much again for your Saturday classes. I have always enjoyed it. You can hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank
Okay. My question was, so what we're taking ourselves out of basically the government's hands and becoming private citizens, be private, excuse me. If we have need to take like get a loan and we've had our house inside of the trust. I'm seeing what we discussed here today, which is, oh man, amazing stuff. If you need to get a loan, isn't that putting you back underneath um, the control of the government in essence?
you.
You need to take a mortgage, in other words, and
Right, right. In the
so
sense,
how does that work then?
it puts you back into the assumption that you are a U.S. citizen. So anytime, and I've explained this before, anytime you have to get a loan, um, let me put it this way. If you got a credit card that you're using right now, and you know you've given your social security number to make that credit card work, um, and you're swiping it every day, you're creating an assumption of who you really are. So this process separates that, right? We know that we have the title nobility person. We know we have the creditor side of the ens legis, and we have the debtor side of the ens legis. So you're utilizing the debtor side or the creditor side of your ens legis to get the loans, to get the credit cards, but you're the responsible person for the debt that's going to potentially go into insolvency or bankruptcy is the debtor side. So your trust is controlling both sides. I've always said, if I ever had to go get a FHA loan or personal loan or whatever that's not coming out of my private life insurance policy, then I will put in an updated trustee minutes to restate who I am put that into the paper, and now okay, I'm good. I cleared that. There is no presumption because I cleared it. See, we have the right to use it. You have the right to use that social for as long as you need. Why? Because your inheritance is in there from long ago.
Hmm.
And the one that was using it before you came, that number was issued to somebody else. They never go away. It will always be a US citizen. You just have to control it. So during your life, if you got to go get another loan or refinance or something, no problem. I would like all of you to be in a position where you become your own banks. You've heard of infinite banking strategies. You build up, you start taking your income and start dumping it into your premiums of your life insurance policy, whole life, to develop a cash value. And there's a death benefit amount. You can utilize that death benefit amount while you're alive. There's strategies to do that. You can take out policy loans. Policy loans are not taxed. Let's say you're an employee, you get paid $100,000 a year, and your trust has a license and trademark on your name for using that name with an employer, right? You're going to file your taxes and you're going to show that $100,000 is what that name earned. However, it was a royalty payment that had to be paid over to the trust by issuing 1099 MISC. Now, they see that you have to pay a royalty over to the trust. However, it is now, you've paid it over to the trust. Now you have to go ahead and show the responsibility. What if that trust goes ahead and gives you back that money in the form of a loan? And like we just spoke last month about it. You talked to him. I'm drawing a blank. James, he talked about business income, how you can loan out that business income and therefore you don't pay taxes on that. So that's the rule. That's the whole system that this government has set up. Buy, borrow, die. That's the system. They do not penalize you if you operate within those three things. But if you operate outside of that, they're going to tax you all the way up as many times as they can. So you need to utilize policy loans from your policy if you can. To answer your question short, yes, you can use it. I mean, if you have to use it, please put in a trustee minutes declaration of nationality, and put that into the paper. So that way you can remove that assumption from the date that you filed an application. Because when you file an application to get credit, it says within the Federal Reserve Act that application is used as a note to create more money into the system. Okay.
Thank you.
Going to King Daniel. That was a good question. We have to tie into fractional reserve banking on that one. King Daniel, you're unmuted.
Hello, Avery. I'm a new student to the 0%, and I must say this is my new ultimate passion in life. I have all my paperwork completed, and I'm just starting the process for filing and recording everything. I'm sorry, this question is a little off topic from your discussion.
No problem. No problem. How can we help?
Yeah, so I'm starting with trying to record my affidavit of affiant. And I basically got laughed at a courthouse yesterday. So I was wondering if you had any tricks or things to get this filed. They basically wrote me a nice little note that said, anything I file must pertain to real property and land located in the county. They do not record affidavits or birth certificates.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What we do is, for example, let me go over the procedures for, let's say you want to start a business and they tell you, you file your articles of incorporation with the Secretary of State. And then some places say you must file a fictitious business name statement either in the county or Secretary of State level, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say it has to be done in the county level for that DBA. Well, they will tell you once you pay the fees with the county, you still have to further perfect it by putting it in the newspaper as a notice. So that's the very same thing with your affidavits. What we've done here for our nationality declarations, for our affidavits of domicile, of ownership, all of those different things, we first place it inside of our trustee minutes. We take a copy of that and we file it within a local newspaper, circulation of at least a day or 7 days, whatever you want. A lot of times that newspaper it's been granted its power from the local court, and you will get a court number at the bottom of it. So once they give you a certification of your publication, you can then begin what's called authentication. On the county level, that's just going to they're going to authenticate whoever notarized your publication. And from there, you take it to the Secretary of State. And from there, you take it to the Department of State. You now have a fully recognized court document on all levels of government.
So to be clear, I don't necessarily have to file it and record it at the courthouse. I can sidestep all of that nonsense.
Exactly.
Does the same apply with the paperwork in regards to the trust and stuff like that?
Exactly.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Only thing that you want to make sure you get recorded in the county is your memorandum of trust. The actual documents that say this is what the trust is, this is who recorded it, this is where it's organized, all that good stuff, who's the trustee, put that in the county. If they say, well, you don't have any real property attached to this trust, so we're not going to do it, you can try implementing a bond. We have information in the website on how to do that.
Yeah, I got that.
So you should be fine with those options.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, we're going to Trina Thomas. How are you?
Hey, Avery, good, thank you. A couple of quick questions. I sent off I'm going back to the very beginning. I sent off my IRS correspondence letter. I haven't heard anything and it's been 7 months. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but do we just kind of wait until they send either approval or denial? Or do I send something else? Or do I send that document again?
Well, their rules say for you to send it, and you did do it, so at least you've complied. Tell me this, do you have a 98-6 or 7?
6.
Okay, you're good. You don't need to have any confirmation from the IRS that you are on the 0 file list. You're good. You've complied with their rules. You sent them a correspondence. If you didn't do it certified, then go ahead and do it again certified, so that way you have proof.
I did.
Don't worry about it. Trust me, that thing will come when it comes.
Nice. So I did receive my 8 for my enterprise. I did receive approval for that like last week. And it's backdated till the day I sent from the day I sent it out in July. So I did receive approval for that. And I also finally received my birth certificate back on the state level.
Okay, great.
So I see movement finally, which makes me happy. So I was wondering about that IRS correspondence letter.
Okay, yeah, congratulations on that. Keep moving. Nowadays, the IRS is they're being really slow. It's tax season. They got other stuff. So let them get to it when they can. They know that these are coming in for the 98 numbers, and they're going to put that on the back burner. There is no filing limitation or filing deadlines for the 98s. That's why I tell you all, do not worry about when to file for your taxes, whether you're employed or not. You have the trust that's going to eventually cover all of that. So don't worry about it. Now, if you got a time limit and you're like, look, I need to get these taxes filed because I'm trying to get approved for a loan. Well, number one, Private lenders don't require that. But if you have to go with an actual bank, then yeah, you're gonna have to file. But just file normally. Just file normally and get it done. We'll go back and fix it whatever we can on the back end.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, going to Gerald Nelson.
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is related to getting the trust recorded in the county. And I found a couple rules on the Maryland code. Can I share those with you and you pull them up or just kind of read it off?
Nope, I know the mess that goes on with Maryland already. So here's what I'm going to tell you to do.
Okay.
I want you to pick another state and county where you file your memorandum of trust, just that. And then I want you to go to maryland.gov where they handle the UCCs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're familiar with the junior course material version 2.0, correct?
Yes.
And you saw the UCC3s.
Yes.
When you do your UCC3 filing online, I want you to upload every single document that you can for a maximum of $75 and nothing more.
Okay.
You're done. That's all you got to do. That's the issue with Maryland and some counties within Virginia. Now, the reason why we're doing that in Maryland, because that's where that 9 or $14.3 quadrillion agriculture lien on everybody exists. So terminate it there and get yourself on the record. There's only a few of us that's there on the record that you can see online. I'm one of them.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I was looking, I saw it. It said that the county is a place to file, but it's only related to fixture filings. And then it says, or everything else at the Maryland Department of Assessment and Taxation. And so I was like, all right, we talked a little bit about that, but then I went into Article 9 for the filing office. Yeah, and it was a little muddy, but yeah, I'll do it that way. I filed some in Utah just to click around with it through the e-filing, just to go through the paces, but I didn't really follow through with anything. But I'll go that route again, just do the memorandum. And then when I when I do the actual UCC in Maryland from the other state that we do it in the county, I would just put the file number on that one first and then the 3, right?
What you'll do is you'll go get the UCC forms, the updated forms, and you're going to go ahead and put in the exact information how you would a non-UCC.
Right.
From there, I told you guys to go and record it in the county, but you're having issues.
Right.
You're going to just take that and upload it into your UCC3 termination.
Got it. Okay.
That's all you do. All right.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Isaiah, any questions we have in the chat? Any questions that I see there's a lot in there, but I can't read it right now.
Yeah, there's a few. I was just going through it, trying to answer what I could. We got one from Vaughn Greathouse. Please explain how to identify a commercial for sale for rent property and how it is used calling the IRS. What websites would be helpful? My foreign trustee is in Lebanon.
I don't quite understand the question. Where is Vaughn? Vaughn?
Yeah, he's got his hand raised.
Let me go to Vaughn. Go ahead.
Peace, bro. Hey, yeah. So I was going through your portion of the IRS form to get it set up, and you had made mention about having an address on hand, and so I was just a little confused on which address do I put on the IRS form, and which address do I have handy in the event that they ask for a physical address on the phone.
And you're trying to get a 98 number?
Yeah.
And who are you going to use for your trustee or responsible party?
I have a partner in Lebanon. He lives in Lebanon.
Okay. So we got the name of the trust in box one. In box two, if there is a DBA that you want to put, you can put that there. The address that you're going to put over in box five is the Lebanon address.
Okay.
And then you must put your whoever that person is over in Lebanon, put their name above that. When you call, you're going to pretend to be that person.
I see.
And when they ask you for a social or EIN, you just say, I don't have one to give at this time.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's the only address I would need to have is just the one that they are, giving me. That's on the form.
Yeah, the one that's in Lebanon, that's the main one, because that's going to be the organization. And then you have a US mailing address over in box 7,
Right.
6 or 7. That's your US mailing address where you want them to send any correspondences to you.
Okay. So just those my domestic and then the foreign address. That's it.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else, Isaiah?
Yeah, there's a couple.
All right, sort through that, and I'm going to go to Ryan. Ryan, what's going on?
How you doing, sorry, Avery, how you doing?
Well, Isaiah's
had a-
here, so we're both good.
Well, hello to everyone. I wasn't ready to be called on, but I am ready to ask just a couple of really brief questions. I asked this one time a long time ago, but do you have a contact for life insurance policies through the TZP network here that you could post?
I can. I will post that in the chat for everybody to see. I do.
Great. And then I am still struggling with 8832s, my enterprise entity. I've sent 3 times over, it's probably been over 2 years now, and they keep getting rejected for the same reason, which I don't have the rejection letter in front of me at the moment, but it has something to do with them saying that it's that it can't be owned by a foreign trust.
Yeah,
And
I've seen those, and I believe the reason being is because you've entered the right information from the very beginning in your application to get a -6 or -7.
mhm,
Of course, that puts you under the TEFRA laws, which is already tax exempt. So if you get an 8832 approval that says you're good to go for your enterprise, that's great. But if you don't, it's also no issue because it's still tax exempt under TEFRA.
okay, so if you're filing an 843, let's say you sell a property that you've got titled the correct way in the enterprise entity, and you've sold it, and you want to file that 843, or if we're doing it for a dividend reason, is it okay to go ahead and file that 843 if you haven't had an approved 8832?
You can only file the 843 if you paid the tax already. If you paid it and you want to get the refund. But if you're
Okay,
prevent some type of capital gain on a sale, then it would be that W-8BEN-E.
I understand that. I misphrased my question. So if I'm going back to file that 843 on income tax that I paid personally, is the 8832 a necessary piece for that, or is that 8832 just necessary for the W-8BEN?
Yeah, it wouldn't be necessary if you're going to do that. You can just go ahead and move forward with the 843.
But if we're doing a W-8BEN, I do need an approved 8832 in that scenario.
Only if your disregarded entity is an LLC or a corporation. Since you're going to use your enterprise already under TEFRA, and they've already told you you're good to go, basically, in their own weird way, then no.
Okay, well, Thanks for repeating your answer to the same question, I guess, in two different ways. That was really helpful.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I like the suit there. I got to get me some fitted suits.
I got the guy. You hit me up. I've got the guy you want.
Oh, sounds good. Got some business partners out in Colorado, so we'll have to just make a stop.
Yeah, you bet. He's out of Hong Kong, so he'll come to you when you're ready, and you won't find a better, more economical option than this man. I've been working with him for like 15 years, so
Awesome.
look me up anytime.
All right, we will. Thank you.
Thanks, Avery.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I got a question from Shepherds. Is there anything as filing a motion to post at the courthouse in lieu of the publication?
No. Nope, the publication will connect you to the courthouse. That's all you need. And then from there, you just do the authentication, and that's it.
Patrizio says memorandum of trust is is synonymous with declaration of trust, correct?
Yep, declaration. Yep. The reason why I call it that here in Seminole County, Florida, that's what they call it. So all you do is go into your county and look at all the different sections of where they record things. You'll see memorandum, you'll see trust, you'll see declaration, you'll see trust res, whatever that is, go into all of them and see what's in there. If you see a couple of different declarations of trust, you're like, okay, they're calling it memorandums. So I better call mine a memorandum too. Otherwise, my stuff is going to get rejected by some airhead who doesn't know what they're doing. That's why we do that. So just pay attention to your specific county's needs. Can't stress that enough. Let's go to Vicki O'Brien.
Hello, thanks Avery. Thanks for being here again, yet another Saturday with us.
Thank you.
Quick question, and you may have already answered this, but I think it's a little different. So I apologize if you've already answered it. I just want to get it clear in my head. So if I'm looking to go file taxes for taxes that have already been paid on income earned by my husband and I, and we had always filed jointly in the past, but like, you know, he's already passed, but I still have to file his taxes, and his estate has already been put on the zero file list. Already got that back from the IRS. So would I just file a 1040 form for him and then do this form, tax form 843 with that now?
You would, but it would just be a 1041 instead. 1041 for his estate, so you have to utilize his estate number.
Okay.
Good for 7 years, so he is within that time frame. You're also going to include, I believe, Schedule E. I think that's the one dealing with capital gains and losses, because you're going to have to classify all of his income as number 6 for royalties. Everything he came in, everything is under royalties made payable to Foreign Express Trust. And that means, you as the executor will have to also file a 1099 miscellaneous showing that he paid that royalty to the trust. From
Okay.
there, trust has to then file documentation to complete that circuit. So the trust will file its own 1041, and it will also have to file, I believe, a Form 3520A, and that is it. Of course, then the 843 to get back any federal taxes paid in the past. So
Okay.
I have different courses coming up just for these types of things. Okay. And
Okay.
you will have some time to look at this and really figure out how to do it before it's time. There is no rush to do it because you have that 7-year period to do this for the estate.
Okay, perfect. So I don't have to rush to get it done by the April deadline or anything because he's already been put on the zero file list. I can wait and make sure I do it correctly is what you're saying.
Yes.
Perfect. And just one quick, really what question. With the tax injunction restraining order, if we do that through y'all, does that, the price and everything with that, does that include helping file in US tax court afterwards as well, or is it separate?
You probably won't have to file with the U.S. tax court if you utilize the A43 directly to the commissioner. The U.S. tax court is only if they're being, belligerent, ignoring, not doing anything, no movement. Then we do that, but that's just going to be an additional consultation for that U.S. tax court consultation. And it's going to be a recorded file for you and the representatives, so that way you can have it and play it as many times as you like.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, going to Samuelson. You are muted.
Avery, thank you for the video response earlier this week and all the amazing information you're providing.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem. No problem.
So my question, and I'm going to pose it within two contexts. It ties both to your lesson today and to that topic. In going into the bank with the trust enterprise, I am not telling them that I've been reclassified to a foreign express trust. I'm not giving them any confirmation that this is what I'm taking away from your video. I'm not giving them any confirmation that there was any reclassification done. So aren't I technically a foreign entity posing as a U.S. fiduciary?
If you're coming in with the trust enterprise and you gave them a social security number to get that EIN number, then no.
I see. So I'm leveraging the U.S. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You're coming in as a tax exempt organization under the laws of TEFRA. In actuality, if you really wanted to prove this to them, let's say you come into the bank and you have your certificate of trust, but you don't have your CP 575 from the IRS. You would then give them a W-9, and there's a section in the W-9 that deals with the exempt section, and there's codes for that. And that's where that would put you in the category of a tax exempt organization, but not necessarily stating you're foreign.
I see. So the use of the codes that you outline in the 2.0 class doesn't necessarily indicate that it's foreign as well. So that's not its own trail to that information.
Correct.
I feel a lot better after hearing that. Here's the second context for the same question as far as being in one jurisdiction and playing in another. What you just taught about the jurisdiction of Oman, the Sultanate of Oman. My foreign express trust is in France. So how is a French foreign express trust doing business in or under the Sultanate of Oman?
So you want your entire trust to be under or to be recognized by that treaty. Marrakesh, Muscat, Articles of Association, Articles of Confederation. Okay, cool. You can have, like the law said, you can have a trust company here in the United States, which is corporation, to be your trustee and still fail the court test. However, what about that control test? You're gonna need somebody else. And that's where that foreign trustee comes into play. So your trustee over in France, that doesn't have anything to do with the corp test that we talked about, but it has everything to do with the control test.
Right. And I recall you already stating that in your previous information. So that makes sense. Thank you, Avery. I'll pass it along. Have a great day and amazing work.
All right. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, stay the course. The thing is, look at this information over and over again, especially that one part that we went over in the CFR dealing with foreign and domestic trust. They have so many different examples and situations. You definitely want to have your trust claim the establishment of a treaty as your foundation, because there's tax treaty benefits to that. But any state in all of the 50 countries of the union can interpret that treaty to then give it some type of placement within the United States. Furthermore, they've got a foreign trustee that's saying that it is the sole trustee and it has the right to make substantial decisions. Okay, that's all we need. We're going to go to Regina Thomas.
Hi, Avery. Thank you for everything. So I've been trying to get everything together for my trust. Now I know when I think Trina asked a question about the IRS correspondent letter. So you answered that for me, but I wanted to know, I have received a IRS letter stating that my back taxes is going into collections. Never received anything like that. As far as I can remember. Do I worry about that, even though I have not received anything stating that they have my IRS correspondence letter? How do I go about that?
No, I mean, if you sent it certified, then you have proof that they received it. But like I was telling the other young lady, you have awareness that your 98 number has a 6 or a 7 after the dash.
Mhm.
You're good.
Okay.
You don't need confirmation. It's nice to have it, it's bragging rights, but you don't need it.
Okay, because that letter kind of spooked me. I received it like a week and a half ago, and I'm just trying to figure out. And it's just the way the letter was sent to me, was nothing on it. It didn't say what I owe. It didn't say what years was it from. So it just I kind of took several steps back, and I was like, well, what is this for? Or what year is it for? Because I had no information but those words.
Yeah, they're trying to play what you call a Jedi mind trick, as most people like to call it. But you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, and I also put my business in that correspondent letter as well. So I shouldn't have to worry about that as well, right? Or because I do, personal and business taxes I am currently paying now. But I put that in my IRS correspondent letter. So I should also not worry about that, or?
So you probably did it like this: blank express trust doing business as another entity, right?
Yes, I did.
Classified both of those as, your 98 number that you were just issued.
Yes.
I've never done it that way. That could be why they're probably taking a little bit longer with yours, but
Okay.
I don't see it to be a reason or an issue, because you could have listed that other entity in line 2 on your SS4 DBA. It should be fine. So like I said, it's tax season. They're going to take a while. Don't be surprised if it's 90 days. Don't worry about that.
Okay, 2 more questions. I'll be quick. So with the tax injunctions, like I said before, I'm still trying to work on getting my trust and everything set up. I still have to mail out my birth certificates on the federal level. So with the tax injunction, can I still fill that form out? And I think you kind of answered it, but I just want to make sure I understand that form 843. Do I put that in my name currently, or do I wait until the trust is set up?
That's a really good question. But let me try to stick to the one question per person. So I'm gonna go through everybody and I'll come back to that.
Okay, thank you.
Jay Prater, what's going on? Jonathan, you there?
Great day, Avery.
Good day.
Can you hear me good?
Yes.
All right, that's great. That's great. All right, status update on 8832s. I really don't worry no more. I'm going on the 5th one. Whenever they send me something back, I'll be going back, sending back again. As far as the correspondence letter to the IRS for the 98 number, I'm on number 5 going on that one. Whenever they send me something back, I'll deal with it then. That's just to give you a little quick update on that. A question was, And also thanks for the video for yesterday on the enterprise. The memorandum of trust or certification of trust, that's pretty much all we need. We need that, the CP 575 letter. And what other documentation will we really need to go to Wells Fargo?
If you don't have the CP 575, then just bring in the W-9, as I showed.
Well, I have the CP 575. I was saying, what other documents would I take in there with me?
Certificate of trust.
Okay.
Please do that, but don't state who the beneficiaries are.
Okay.
Your settlers should be your foreign trustee.
Exactly.
The trustee can be you, or it could be an LLC that's already approved under 8832. It could be an unincorporated association, but for now, let's just say it's you.
Okay.
Right? And you're opening up a personal trust account under the laws of GRAT.
Right.
Those two documents is all you need. What Wells Fargo is going to do is transfer that certificate of trust information onto theirs.
Okay.
That's all you got to do.
Onto their document.
And just bring ID.
All right. The silly question that goes with that. Don't laugh. Please don't laugh, Avery. Would I have to use my social security number, or could I use the estate number that I got in the new name? I have to use for the estate, the family of estate.
They are going to, whatever 9-digit number you give them, run it through a system that will tell them if it's been issued from SSA or if it's been issued from the IRS. And you don't want to do that. So just give them the SSN, because if you give them the estate number, they will eventually catch it and then freeze the assets. They won't send the money out to you. So it's going to be called, eventually it'll be under what's called estate escheatment. It'll eventually make its way over to the state treasurer, and it'll sit there for a family member to come and pick up after you've passed away. That's what they're going to do. So just give them the SSN. It's a personal trust account. The other way to that is to start utilizing your foreign trustees and let them open up private bank accounts for you. We're going to get into that. I can't wait to show you guys that. That's going to be a good one.
Okay. All right.
Now, community that you got it for right now, and then we'll further protect all the monies later on.
Okay. The next question with that was the foreign LLC that will be taking place here shortly. And you was talking about using the LLC or unincorporated association or so forth as the trustee of the enterprise.
Yeah, that's what I mean, the getting your foreign trustee involved for private bank accounts.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'll wait till you come up with that. And let me know what I have to do as far as, because you know the situation that we had that last talk about.
Well, a little homework for everybody, which you can do to get prepared for that. So that way, once you hear the information, you guys can get the ball rolling. I want you to select either Nevada, Delaware, Wyoming, or New Mexico as your state for the creation of an LLC. Select which one. You do the research to figure out which one you want to select. I like New Mexico. This is where you're going to file your new formed LLC, and you're going to attach your foreign trustee as the owner. The owner. Then you're going to attach your trust enterprise as the managers. Then I just want you guys to get started with that. Of course, you know, you're going to have to get your registered agent set up in that state too. Because when we drop the information on that, you should be ready to go open up this bank account or have your foreign trustee call the bank on the phone and get it open. And how I like to reimburse my foreign trustees for doing this is we open up a good size CD. that's going to earn interest for them. And they'll just have it growing and growing year after year. And they want it because in other countries, you know, the dollar is not as strong as US, but having a CD opened for them in the US gives them a lot of opportunities in their home country.
It does. It does. It does.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm waiting, Avery. I'm waiting. I am waiting.
All right. A lot of people are for that private business accounts, because we talked about the personal trust accounts. Now we got to go to the business side of it. I just had to do it a couple of times in a few different states to make sure it's a golden deal for you guys to utilize it that way.
Okay, that's great. I think the wife trying to cut in on me.
Hey, Avery.
Hey,
Okay, so we got to get with you because he's already gotten his publication for his tax injunction, and you know, you was telling us to get with you. And do we get with Nancy or?
well, it's whoever's available at the time. All of the reps can handle that call. All of them can do it.
Okay.
So it'd either be Nancy, Reggie, James, Isaiah, Frenchie, or Robert.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well, we'll schedule it.
I think Reggie on here too, matter of fact.
All right.
All right, I appreciate you, Avery. Well, we appreciate you.
No problem. Appreciate you guys.
All right, now.
We're going to Buddy.
Reggie on here. What name
Buddy,
call?
you are muted. Just unmute your mic.
Hi Avery, can you hear me? Okay, we were having trouble the last time.
I got you loud and clear.
Okay, great. I went to put some documents together and I got them published and then I turned it into the court. I'm sorry, this is about that court case that I talked to you a little bit about, a third-party debt collector and they had given a judgment. They did not give me a summons. I did not get my time at court or my due process. So I did that, turned it in. It was put onto the docket. I saw then the next day that everything was removed. Like the whole thing was stripped out, the whole docket. But then 2 or 3 days later, just giving it another check, everything had been put back in, and he decided, the judge, to continue with his judgment against me. So now, should I go ahead and go to the next court? And I put it in as a what was it? Irreparable injury, but it was demand to dismiss irreparable injury. And the summons, I mentioned that in my document and had it published. Like I said, he had taken it out, but then he put it back in. And I don't know why he took it out to begin with. Or maybe he talked to somebody and I decided to put it back in. I don't know. Would you have an idea?
I do. Also, I know that Frenchie can weigh in on this one too. I got to take a quick little restroom break. Frenchie, you there?
All right.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Hi, Frenchie.
Could you assist
Hi.
sister with that one?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Oh, I just was saying hello.
Oh, yeah, hi. So
Hi.
go ahead with the question.
Oh, I had gotten on last month and I had said something and I got to talk to Avery for a second. He gave me some things to do, which I did, and I got it published. Third-party debt collector had won a judgment against me from a judge because I did not get the summons. They said that it was turned back in, that I had received it, but it had been returned unclaimed, which was a fraudulent entry, which I put that in my document too, which was published. So then I turned it in and they did put it onto the docket, and then everything was stripped out. And then a couple of days later, everything was put back in. So I thought, oh, that's good because I must have won. And they reversed the judgment. But then a couple of days later, they put everything back in and said, we're going to keep it the way it was. So now should I go ahead to the next court and appeal? And how I put it in was demand to dismiss irreparable injury. That's how Avery had me put it together.
Okay, yes. So it has been more than 30 days since that? or no?
No, it's only been about a half a week since.
Okay, so
all
that's
of
good.
that. Yeah,
That's
and then I
good.
wanted to touch base with you guys.
Yeah,
I knew
so
this day was-
so basically, are you saying, did you file to the other court already your appeal
Or
or
should
not?
I? I mean, I'm thinking that's the
Yes, you
next,
absolutely, you should appeal, right?
and that's going to be a little bit more involved
Yes,
than what I quickly put through together because I only had
yes,
a teeny bit of time to get
because
to that.
correct, we have to show lack of due process.
Right. Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
And then should I put that and go ahead and publish that as well, and then also turn that in once it's published to the next court, or do I need to do that since this is not since it's like a first appeal? I'm talking to this court for the first time that I'm going to be suing this company. And what about the judge that did that? I don't know.
Yes, first you want to appeal. That's the biggest thing right now, because you are within the 30 days, so you have every right to appeal. So you want to do that properly first. That's the first, line of defense that you should work on. After
Okay.
that, we'll have to. There you go. After that, we can, look into it like just without seeing exactly what's been filed, unfiled, redone. I can't really speak on it
Right.
properly, but
Okay.
for sure, file your appeal for sure. But you're gonna have to take the time to review and dissect how the judgment was done upon you, and look at all the lack of due process that you can find.
Okay.
And then yes, absolutely.
And can I contact you and like make it a appointment
Yes, ma'am.
kind
Yes,
of thing with
ma'am.
you?
Yes, ma'am.
That would be fine. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. And then my other real quick question was about going back to the trust. I have my express trust and I have that and it's been approved obviously. And then I have my enterprise trust. It's been approved on the 0%. But now putting that paperwork together, having me be the trustee and my foreign trustee be the actual grantor, I need to go and get a new enterprise trust. Is that correct? And have it set up that way, like have my foreign trustee be the grantor and actually have it done that way?
Yes, you can.
I
go
can't
ahead.
use what I already have, do I?
Let me come in for a little bit. So
Okay.
I'll
Thank
answer.
you, Frenchie.
Yeah, thank you, French, for holding that. Take a quick little restroom break. But I just want to add on to what Frenchie was saying with you. So when you, of course, she's right. You gotta appeal it up to the next higher court because the judge is being partial.
Okay.
And so he didn't give you a reason for his actual dismissal. There is no reason. He just did it.
He did. I did read something. In the paperwork. I think what I did was I put in my actual address that they sent the summons to, even though I blocked it out by legalese and whatnot. But he said because it was the same address that they sent the summons to, that he was not going to overturn it because it was the same address. That's the only reason. Yeah, well, I didn't get it. And I tracked the thing and I have a printout of it where they have it written in the docket that I had received it and sent it back unclaimed and it was still out for delivery. And I have that document that I printed off by the tracking number.
Yeah, but if it did come to you, the summons was still lacking the affidavit of complaint that should be attached to it. So
yeah, I mean, I never got it, so I don't know if they had what it would have said.
exactly. So you were
right.
pretty much asking for an injunction if they couldn't give you discovery for those two things. And since he only answered the way he did, he obviously doesn't have it. So that's why I'm highlighting right here. When you appeal in the next court, your appeal is going to be a writ, a precipient or precipient. That is a writ sending one to do the thing required or show cause why he has not done it. Okay.
Okay. All right. It's called a writ, and then a special word.
Yeah, you see on my screen here.
I see something that says, oh yes.
Right there.
A writ commanding, okay, I see what that says now. Yes, sure I do. Okay, and that's the beginning of my complaint back to the next court higher.
Mhm.
This type of writ. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Welcome. And question on the trust information. So if you want to switch out put your foreign trustee as a settler, you can do that at any time. Have you opened up a trust account yet or no?
I have not. I just have all my paperwork. I haven't set up a bank account or anything, but I mean, I set it up as a grantor, the enterprise, and he is I made him the trustee, but I mean, I did make the enterprise trust as a grantor trust. So I can't switch our roles now, can I? Or can I?
Yes, you can.
Oh, I can. And it's already approved on the 0%. They already did that. So I can just switch our roles? No biggie?
Yeah, because the IRS doesn't have any copies of the trust instrument. The county doesn't have it. The banks don't have it. So you can
That's
make
correct. Excellent. Wow, that's even better news. That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm glad I didn't jump the gun.
Because as of
Sweet.
right now, it's considered an implied trust.
Okay. All right.
Further expressed when you finally put it on the record. The good
Okay.
thing about it is you have a trust protector. Trust protectors have the right to change anything on the spot if they need to.
Got you. Wow. That's awesome. I was kind of getting bummed out, but now I'm like, oh, I don't have to go through that whole thing again. And I didn't file anything, so it is still implied. Excellent. Thank you so much, Avery.
You're welcome.
Happy day.
All right, Isaiah, going back to you. Do we have anything or are we caught up?
We got about 47 messages. I've been trying to answer them where I can. Let me go back up really quick. Jose asked, why can't we only go back 22 years and not 25 on the domestic trust?
That's because when you're talking about the limitations of the IRS EIN online website, what they allow you to do, because you're dealing with your estate and they see it as probate. Probate does not last longer than those number of years. That's why. I would love to take it all the way back to when I was born, but probate laws will not allow you to do that.
All right. Martha B, question about the 1099-A used with the Treasury gift check. On the video, it shows to use the company sending the bills in the lender box and the express trust name in the borrower box. But in the Q&A Zoom in August 2022, it said to put U.S. Treasury Department in the lender box and the company billing you in the borrower box. Can you please clarify?
It's been such a long time since I've seen that information for the Treasury Department discharge. I want you to send me that question directly into my message on the website so I can give you a full in-depth answer after I've taken some time to look at that information again. What else we have?
Reggie asked, on the form W-8BEN-E, what specifically type of tax would we write for a child support case in question 15?
You would write, let's see. You could get away with it just by putting child support, SCE, child support enforcement. And it's not really considered a tax. It's called pillage. PILLAGE. So child support enforcement pillage. All right. Going to go to, so we've already answered Patricio in the chat there. Put your hand down. Going to go to Monte. Just unmute your mic.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Mhm.
Good, good. Yep. Well, my main question is, I messed around and got a DWI last month,
Mhm.
and I refused everything. And here in North Carolina, they end up doing a blood draw.
Okay.
So on all of the documents, it has my lowercase name, the capital M and everything else lowercase.
Okay.
And I got a question about that. It's not the capitalized, so I'm sure they did that because they took my blood, the real person. But what would I be able, it's like, what does that mean? Do you know?
Which means that they've connected you to that original lien that took place when you were born, the afterbirth DNA material. They've connected it. The way that you have your name written on the document, lowercase or uppercase, it has nothing to do with it. Won't give you any remedy that if you try to stand on that. So, did you injure anyone or no?
What'd you say?
Was anybody injured?
No, not at all. Yeah, they stopped me for like dark window tint and then suspected I was drinking.
Okay. So basically, they pulled you over for suspicion. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
They have it. What you're gonna have to do is go inside. Okay. Who pulled you over, city or county?
It was the city.
Okay. You need to go inside the city police charter or their ordinance and find what officers are supposed to do when it comes to four stops. And in there, you're going to find that they need to, if they have suspicion of anything, they need to, like, let's say they're trailing you and they see that your windows are dark. They can go behind you. There's a front-facing camera that can quickly pick up your license plate, pull up information, and say, okay, this guy has got dark tints, could be some activity going on. That's his affidavit. It has to electronically go to the courthouse, which gets automatically approved by the magistrate or the clerk of court. And then he'll be able to present that to you when he pulls you over and say, this is why I pulled you over. I have permission to do it. And then from there, normal routine. But that didn't happen. So that means he violated the Constitution. So what you need to put in the basic motion for discovery of that affidavit that you didn't get. It has to exist before the signing of the citations that he gave you. It has to be attached. That's just the facts of your Bill of Rights. Since you don't get it, and he's not going to give it to you, then you have no choice but to ask for a permanent travel injunction. Put my name on the list. Don't pull me over again unless you have everything you're supposed to do for due process. Okay. I would also, to the record, your DBA, where it shows the Express Trust is doing business as your name. So you need to follow that process.
All right. Yep. I got all my DBAs done, but I haven't filed. I don't have my trust. And I know you were saying in the in one of those videos, it's easier to file your trust with a court case. So I plan on doing that like next week. Yeah. Should I go ahead and?
Yeah, I would recommend.
Yeah, I should do that.
Recommend getting your DBAs and your travel injunction done in the newspaper first. Then take that and add it into your minutes and file all of the information that you would normally do at the county. You'll file it in the county courthouse where the case is.
Okay.
So put it all
right.
Yeah, sometimes
just put it all together in a trust.
Yeah. Sometimes I tell you guys, hey, if you guys are having issues with filing this stuff in the county, then you can always bust out your left tail light and get pulled over, get you a ticket.
Right. Yeah. I know. I remember you saying that. That was like the only good thing about all of this. I should better get my trust in there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happens if the clerk try to deny I know, isn't it like a code or, federal
There is a
law or something that stops them?
there is a code, but it's in your state.
Okay,
State.
so get the state one.
Look at the rules of court in your state.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. And just one more question. Once I get this trust file, should I make the trust the owner of my businesses? Because I'm about to do my article update for the year.
Well,
or so.
let me ask you, why would you do that?
Just to hide my name, because right now I'm the owner of both of them. And I want to switch it. It'll be, that's what I'm asking. Like, do it make sense to have the trust as the owner of the business, or?
Well, don't second guess yourself. From what you said, that sounds like a pretty good reason to do it, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
All right.
Businesses in the trust for sure.
Yeah. Okay. All righty. Well, I appreciate it. That's what I needed.
All right. Thank you for the questions. I appreciate it. Let us know how it works out in your case.
I will.
Right. Going to John Green. How you doing, sir? Just got to unmute your mic. There you go.
There we go. There we go. I'm on my phone. So I'm working on a accord and satisfaction against the IRS. And I'm looking through the claim dispute. I got to the end and I understand most of all that. It says the trust challenges your right to administrate trust property. So I get that. It's talking about my title. And I've done the request for accounting, and I'm working on the bill of complaint. And kind of picturing myself in court, having to be able to explain this sort of stuff. The bill of complaint says breach of contract. So, and I realize maybe it's different for like a bank loan or something like that, but against the IRS, what is the contract that they breached?
Your trust.
Ah, okay. Okay, that answers a lot. I'm picking my way through this. I think I understand most of it. I could use some help with two pieces. I've tried to find names and addresses for the IRS, and all I have is like, Fresno, California. I don't have any addresses or names. Is there someplace I can find that information?
If you're suing the IRS, you're just suing the Internal Revenue Service Commissioner. That's it.
I found his name out there, I think, but I don't have any addresses so I can serve him papers.
Yeah, let's do a search. It's somewhere in Washington, D.C. We know that for sure. Commissioner. What's his name? Danny? There we go.
Yeah, Danny Warfel.
Danny Warfel. Organization chart. Let's see. Yeah, send me a direct message. I'll get it for you. I mean, actually, it should be in my actual tax injunction document, and I'll tell it to you right now.
I did.
Well, I'm looking for that. You have the floor if you got an additional question or statement you'd like to.
Yeah, there's two pieces. The other part is I'm trying to find my judge. I got online. I'm in Dallas, and they've got a whole list of judges, but I don't know which court I would go into or how to find. You've got the document, the judge, and the court clerk and so forth. I can't find any of that stuff.
Yeah, you may just have to call or go down there.
I was wondering, could I just call the clerk of the court and ask them?
Yeah, they'll tell you who's the actual clerk of the court right now. They're public, so that has to be told to you. It can't be kept secret. However, they make it hard for you to see it online.
Ah, gotcha. It's something else you may have seen in the chat. I was thinking about this. I've got the money orders all done, I got them all done and they're canceled and so forth. And I thought, how do I have proof to know that they actually got cashed besides a screen print?
I
So
did. Yes.
I can't remember the form number. I can put it in the, I sent it to you. I found a form and it's from like 2000. And so I printed out the form and I have 3 money orders, printed them out. You got to have your name, address, the money order name and so forth. And so I went down to the post office, kind of an adventure. And the gal says, I've never seen one of these before. I said, well, it's time. Well, we don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. And the lines start to build up behind me. It's kind of funny. And they filled out the bottom third. And then I said, well, how much is it? And she went online to see how much it was. And now it's online. You don't need the form. So she typed her stuff in and, oh, that's all we have to do. And it was $17.30 for each one. And what I got back is it went to the post office, then it went to the Department of Treasury, and they sent me a nice letter on letterhead with images of the canceled money orders.
Wow.
Now, maybe you don't need that, but I thought for $17, I'd kind of like to have that in my pocket. So I'll put that form number, I'll send that form number to you. But if anybody wants to, it took about 10 days. I was also surprised. It only took 10 days and I got these things with the screen prints and can't argue that.
Yeah, I think you should. Yeah, you've got my blessing. Put that in the chat for everybody to have.
Okay. Well, wish me luck. I'm still working on the bill of complaint, but it's coming together pretty nicely.
So I'm going to go ahead and put this information in the chat for everybody to see for the exact address for the IRS commissioner. And you guys will have that. Let me know if you see that. Everybody got it?
Yes, thank you.
Good. In addition to that, you want to add the Bureau of Consular Affairs. I'm sorry, you're doing accord and satisfaction with the IRS.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all you need to put in there for right now.
So he's the only person I need to serve?
And the clerk of court.
Hey, Avery, this is Reggie. Is he only doing it locally? Or is he going to federal claims court, or is that a higher level up?
It's always going to be United States tax court.
It's all the same. Okay.
United States tax court is who you file with.
I could go to the clerk of court and say, this is what I'm trying to do. And she'd tell me which court it was.
So you're dealing with the IRS, the commissioner. So you want monies to come back from there. You cannot go into the state. I'm sorry. I got things mixed up in my mind with travel and tax. But for travel stuff, with share stuff, you're going on the state level. For your IRS tax, you need to do it directly with the United States tax court. And there's only a handful of them. Just look them up in Texas. That's where you're going to file your bill of complaint. It's going to be against the IRS commissioner. You would also put the clerk of court of the United States Court of Federal Claims. That right now is Lisa Reyes. Lisa Reyes.
Where did you find that?
Clerk, the U.S. tax court. Information is right there.
Okay, I'll look in the U.S. tax court. So I'm hoping that's in Dallas.
They have them in every state.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. It's coming together. Thank you.
Welcome. So now, like I said, you're talking about breach of contract. So you have to give them a copy of that, of your memorandum of trust, put that in the file with the DBAs associated with every single name that the trust owns. That's how you do it. All right. So let's go into Louis V.
Chief.
Hey there.
Peace. Happy Saturday.
Thank you. You too.
Peace, everybody in the chat.
I hope you was able to catch that W-8BEN information. That
You want to hear something funny? You said Article 3 right? And I caught that. And so my question was, in order to stand on it, would I need a certified copy of the Treaty of Mascat? I'm sorry if I said that wrong. I caught
Uh,
that.
You want to get it, but you're gonna just mention it right now. They know what that is. Because that'll take some time for it to come in the mail.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump on that like ASAP. Like, I'd rather get the certified copy just to stand on it a little bit better, you know, like a fitted tux.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was that, and I'm not gonna elaborate on that because we already know what's going on with that. Um, is there a way I can get a like a more intimate contact? Pause. No homo. For the infinite banking because somebody put it in the chat and I clicked on it and it was like a website. So is there like a more direct
That's the
contact?
website. You gotta first put in your, this is how I got into it. And I have a guy that he's assigned just to me. So I can't say, okay, I got two more people. Can I give them directly to you? He says under his contract, he can't do it that way.
I respect that.
So the link that I gave, put in the information of what you're looking for, and then that's gonna give you a free consultation for whoever is next in line to talk to you. So far, I've dealt with 3 people from there, and it's only about 15 of them. And they're out of Pennsylvania. They're good. Steve Parisi, you've seen his stuff on YouTube, and he's got trainees underneath him who are licensed to set up annuity contracts and policies for you. They all know what I'm trying to do here. It goes. I think I will show you guys my contract, show you what it looks like, how to put it together. But if you want it, but I don't think you'll need it. You just talk to the guy who is assigned to you. Say, look, I don't want a non-modified endowment contract. I want to be able to put in this amount per year, and I want to have a death benefit of X amount, millions of dollars by the time I pass. And I only want to pay into it for 5, 10 years or whatever. They're going to structure out that entire plan and tell you this is what you need to do.
Non-modified endowment contract. Yeah, you spoke.
Mm-hmm. No mech. That's what they call it.
All right. Good. Appreciate you, brother.
Welcome.
Enjoy your Saturday. Peace, everybody in the chat, and I'll hear from you soon, my brother.
Yes, sir. I'm looking
I don't know if you're breaking up. You're looking for what?
Monday.
Okay. All right, brother. Peace, 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 everybody in the chat.
All right.
Avery, I got a question from Derek about benefits. It says, how do I successfully run a private trust while being on SSI for life because I need a doctor's permission to get off of it?
You need a doctor's permission to step away from the benefits. Is that what you think he's trying to say?
I believe so. It sounds like he wants to run his express trust without giving up his benefits.
Yeah. Being private and foreign is not going to stop those benefits from coming into that SS, the Social Security name and number. It will not stop. That goes against Title 18 if somebody were to ever say, "Oh, you're private now. You're an expatriate." Well, we have to stop your benefits. No, that's a violation. So that will not stop. If you do this process, it will not stop. If you don't do this process, it will not stop. Okay. Let's go to Terrence. Terrence Taylor.
What's going on, Avery? Can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you.
All right, excuse my voice. I'm a little under the weather. But I have the question is pertaining to my child support cases. They're coming to an end anyway. I mean, my son will be 18 this year. But once you convert the payee information from you to your enterprise trust with your employer, how does that affect the child support payments? Because they come out of my they're paid automatically before my check even hits my account. So how would that even affect that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, you need to send a cease and desist to child support, terminate. So whatever you, like what I showed you today, when you send it to the court, you also need to CC the actual child support agency, and you need to give them a cease and desist. And that's what's going to stop it from the employer level. Now, let's say it doesn't happen. Let's say they're just like, no, you got another year to go. We're going to go ahead and continue this thing until it drops. Then you have to petition the court to get refunds after.
Okay, okay. That makes sense. I was just curious about that because I didn't want to screw up within the last year, you know what I mean? I mean, paying that child support for 18 years is almost like a prison
Nothing
sentence.
you file right now will screw it up. It's either going to stop it or it's going to continue, right?
Right.
I think with this, it's really gonna put a dent in their plans. It's gonna stop it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
Make sure your trust enterprise has those clauses I talked about for that additional foreign country.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Isaiah, anything?
Yeah, I was just answering Flex, but Kim asked, I used the registrar address when filling out the 8832 for my state EIN. How do I change that address to get the determination letter, or does the IRS mail the determination letter to the Express Trust address?
Well, if you put the registrar address, the place where your birth certificate comes from, you did that right, but you did it online. So you have an option to have them mail it to you or to just download it directly, instantly. You should have did that. If not, they're going to mail it to the county. People have done that, and the county, they track down who that name is, and they go to the post office, and then they'll try to find where's this person and where's the address, and they'll just forward it over. That's what they end up doing. So please make sure you download the electronic copy. That way you have it. If you can't do that, then do it again. Go to EIN online, do the whole estate process over, put the registrar address as the main address where that inlegis comes from, and then hit download PDF. So that way you avoid all that. Okay, let's go to, here we go again. I can't get this name pronunciation. But you see I unmuted your mic, didn't you? That's N-I-K-K-E. Unmute your mic.
It's Nikki.
I always want to, I want to pronounce it that way if there's an I after the K or a Y, but I just
I decided to just spell it weird. I get it. You'll get it eventually because I'm not leaving. You'll see me for a while.
Good.
So I feel like I've been patient. I might need to be more patient. I've sent in now twice my 8822B, and I've called in to the IRS twice, which was great because I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with them. I'm not as scared. So I'm getting something from that. But because I shouldn't be scared. But my question is, they haven't transferred the responsible party to my real foreign trustee, and it hasn't gone through yet. I've now sent it in twice. The second one, I decided to send certified, just so I know that they got it. Can I, because I know I've done my due diligence, can I just move forward in the process now with my real foreign trustee? Because I have notified them. I've said this is now the responsible party. Or do I need to continue on with my title and nobility? Because I just want to move along. And if I do have to continue with my title of nobility, do I just need to do more 8822Bs to change that over in the future? I'm just not
No,
sure how that
no.
works.
Just move forward. Move
Just move
forward
forward.
as if it's already done. I'm
Okay.
telling you, this organization, they are not very compliant.
Gotcha.
So it's gonna get done when it gets done, and they'll either tell you, we need more information, we need additional 60 days, which really means 120 in my opinion.
Yeah, because they told me 10 at first, and then it was 2 weeks, and now it's an additional 4. And I'm just like,
Right.
processing it. I'm like, I'm just gonna move forward. I've done what I know. My meeting minutes show what has been done, and I've expressed that myself.
Let me
So
tell you what happens inside the IRS. There's a department that receives your notice, and it automatically says, do this in 30 days, knowing that it can't. Then, as other taxes come in, depending on that threshold, that means they have to reorganize agents within to go and look at those. So that means the document that you sent in will get moved to another department, and that department has a time limit of 60 days to get everything out. However,
okay.
if that isn't enough time for them to get it done, then they move it to another department, and that department has 90 days to get it out. So what happens is they continue to spit out notices as they get them to your address saying we need additional time.
Okay.
So yeah, don't worry about it. 8822B is just updating the address, or maybe just letting them know who the responsible party is. And that's not like it's a deal breaker for you not to move on, because the true document that dictates everything is your trust instrument.
Okay.
The IRS does not say they don't have boot to do with your trust.
Stop, move.
Gotcha. Then I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I finally have the green light. I've been waiting to at least get confirmation. So I appreciate it.
Right. And if you guys have things like this that you need to move on quickly, send it directly to me, or put it in the chat. Frenchie's in there. She's so helpful. Very, very
Yes,
helpful.
Frenchie's very helpful.
Yeah, she's learned a lot. So get it to us, and we'll try to get that answer to you guys as soon as possible so you can move forward. Have that confidence.
Great. Perfect. I appreciate it, Avery.
No problem. All right. Going to L. Tanner.
Hello, everyone. Let's see. I have a bunch of questions, Avery, and I don't know if this is the venue for all of that. I've been writing down stuff and I've listened to the videos. I've gotten up to the junior level. And so I wanted to have maybe a private consultation with you because I don't know how much time I can take up here.
Yeah, if you got a lot of questions that you want to gather a private consultation, just book. I mean, you can send me a direct message, and I can look at it there first. But if you wanted to have it recorded some kind of way, or you want to share screens, then we'll set up another private call under Zoom, and then that'll be given to you as well. So if you want to do it, just go ahead and click.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, so just go ahead and click the consultation link in the website and get that scheduled so we can talk to you more in private.
Yeah, I was a little unsuccessful last time. I'm not sure how that works. Once you click the private consultation, do I wait for an email or a phone call?
Once you click it, there'll be a questionnaire for you to fill out, and that will get routed to my executive assistant, and she will assign you a consultant. There you will see choices of links that they provide as far as time segments that you want.
Okay.
And you will select what day and the time that you want, and they will contact you on that day.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, we let's see. We are over our time. I'm going to take two more. We have Shepherd 7.
Hi, Avery. It's day 2 for me. I have seen several of your videos before I got here. I had a question about the stamp that calls for that you have in one of the videos. I guess it talks about having a Star of Solomon on it. Is that specific? Can we use a menorah? Can we use a lion? Just checking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's dealing with your seals. You can create your own seal pertaining to your family legacy. I chose it because that was pertaining to one of the tribes in tribes of what's his name, Israel. But
Yeah.
no, you don't have to do that. I did it because of where I was filing. I was filing in Los Angeles County, a specific office there in Beverly Hills. And so that is predominantly what is circulating there. And, I found a way to get my foot through the door. So that's how I did it. But not necessary for you all. I don't think people who are filing their trust today are getting in just through the seals. So there's other factors that allow you to get in the door and record in the county. So it's up to you if you want to have that or not.
Okay. Would a menorah be just as well, you think?
I'm sorry?
Would a menorah be just as well?
Yes, it would.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Mo Ghazi, I saw your hand was up. Don't try to run away.
Hey, no, it's fine. I just wanted to let everybody else get a chance. I have a pretty simple question. The main accord and satisfaction case I want to start is with Wells Fargo. Have you ever seen an issue like if I open that trust enterprise account with them, that this might cause any problems if I'm doing an accord and satisfaction like with my other accounts, or would like one not mess with the other?
Good question. I'd say no, because they don't know who the beneficiary is. The beneficiary could be the president of Wells Fargo. They have no idea.
Right.
So when you're filing the complaint against them, it's them versus your legal's name.
Right.
That's it.
And the trust has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, we don't want to do that because we've seen how they'll try to dismiss your case for not putting in the proper party to the loan.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because you did say that when we open the account, they're going to ask for my social security number. So, I mean, wouldn't they connect it, or?
No, they're not going to connect. Like I said, the beneficiary is the main reason why the IRS will not levy irrevocable trust accounts.
Right.
Because that would be, violating a private contract. Now you're suing Wells Fargo that you've got a loan with them in the ins legis name, so that's the only property, that's the only party.
Yeah, it's just a line of credit. And I have another credit card with them. I have another checking account, so it was the only thing I was like hesitating from moving forward.
Yeah. Now, I would say this, if they may look at you differently now if you try to get additional accounts in the future with them.
Okay.
Might, but
yeah,
only time will tell.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I try to stay away from bank loans. I'm really trying to become my own bank, how the Rockefellers did it. So I think everybody should aspire to do that and just deal with private lenders. Yes, you pay a little bit more down payment or interest rate, but privacy is what I like about it. The only good thing about bank loans is the fact that they can give you an opportunity to get the loan for the least amount of money down. I'd rather just save it and not go that route. Isaiah, we'll leave it to you to close us out. Any more questions?
Yes, I got one question from Kim. I want to discharge my student loan. I heard you mention it in a video to use a third-party debt collector letter instead of accord and satisfaction. Can you explain why would you do this instead?
It's a choice. It really depends on who the student loan enforcer is. I don't know if it's the actual government or if it's a third-party loan servicer. If the third-party loan servicer, you know for sure they're not the one who issued the loan in the first place. So that would demand a third-party debt collector letter. I would say utilize your third-party debt collector letter for the first initial 30 days. Upon no response, you can go ahead and do notice to cure for the second one, and then a default for the third one. And then after that, say, look, I've been compliant with you all. You're not answering. Now I have the right to go and shut this thing down. Here's this $1 check. Please apply to principal only, accord and satisfaction, and let them cash it. Then you take that, and the reason why I'm putting these two together, so that way you can go and sue them and get money. There is punitive damages, there is monetary damages that they violated as a third-party debt collector letter under Title 15. And so you can get some money out of it, plus the discharge. So it all depends on what do you want to do? How far do you want to take it? Okay. I see Patricio's hand is still up. Go ahead, last question.
Hello, Avery.
Hello there.
Did I understand correctly earlier? You said if we're having trouble filing in our county, we can file the trust and UCC in another county?
Yes, you can.
And it's going to be in the order of operations for that because I've got everything set finally. It's declaration of trust, bonded as a bonded contract filed first, and then the UCC with the promissory note.
That is correct.
And the promissory note should not be filed with the declaration of trust, then it should be excluded.
I included it on some of our private clients, and others I did it with the non-UCC. It all depends. What do you want to do? Just get it in there.
Okay. The UCC shouldn't, if you file the UCC first, then you can include it in the trust if you file the trust packet though, right?
Do the non-UCC by itself as a one-page document and file the declaration of trust with the bond and the promissory note. Just do that.
Got it. All right. Thank you very much. And thanks for all you do for us.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right. That's going to be our time. We went over a little bit. It was still good. Good questions. I appreciate all of you hanging with me this long. Like I said in the beginning, get your tax injunctions done. It's tax time. They're paying out. It doesn't have to be in your title nobility name. Just get it in there. Get paid in the ins legis name. That's where the money came in the first place. Someone had asked in the chat about paying utility bills, and I've always said, nah, don't worry about that. Just pay your bill. There is a way you could do it. You just have to understand dividends. Dividends, obviously, are payments that come from shareholders. So if you think of it this way, you've given up a social security number to get the credit or to get the utility opened or to get the mortgage open or to get the car loan or the credit card, and then they send you a statement in the mail. But there's a reason why they give you the option, hey, you can save a little bit of money if you do not do this via paper, you do it electronically. They're trying to take away your opportunity of doing something with the document that comes in the mail, which is your coupon. The coupon, I need you to look at that as a dividend. So what do people do with dividends? Corporations do with that. A company will send out to someone an actual dividend if they are a shareholder to that company. You have to think of your bill as a payout. So when you have that payout, that is considered income, right? What I'm leading towards is you have your payments that you've made on these bills. I've told you before, this is where the trust can file at the end of the year to get that money back because it's actually a dividend. That's what they're not telling you. Dividends are considered income, long-term income. Long-term income. There is a specific way for the trust to file to get that money back. Okay, so I'll leave it there. So just pay your bills. Don't be ashamed of doing that. Try not to listen to all of those topics out there that say you can discharge this, discharge that. Remember, buy, borrow, die. That's the system they created. Unless you know how to operate within it with these tax forms and be tax exempt, it's going to be a struggle, and you're going to just hear all these rumors about how to do things, and no one can show you how to do it. So look forward to that upon the new website. And that's going to be it for today. All right. So I'll see you all next Saturday in March, the first Saturday, and we'll continue to rock this thing out. Appreciate all you guys for joining in. I'll see you next time.
Avery, are you ever gonna give us an update about the Puebla site?
You said the Pueblo site?
Yeah, didn't you say about once we reach a certain amount of people that have done all these things, the next major step would be like to do sort of like our own town or city or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I know what he's talking about. Yeah. The 144.
Yep.
How close are we to that?
That's all of you. Well, we have private clients that are done, and I don't want to just leave it to them. So you guys all got to get to the promised land, finish up your process, and then we're going to come under one big confederation. We're going to put our monies together through a big life insurance policy, and we're going to use that contract to make a collateral assignment to purchase land. Wow. And that is the only way we'll be able to step to these officials and say, shut this bill down. We don't want it.
Well, we here.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
Could you start a newspaper, Avery?
Anybody can start a newspaper.
Would that put us under the jurisdiction?
It would not.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great one, Rick.
Right. You guys too. You guys take care.
Happy Saturday. Thank you, Chief.